Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today on something you probably think you know all about, Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday.
You think you know. But we're going to find out that maybe you don't know as much as you think.
Maybe.
So we're going to take a deep dive into Black Friday.
Okay.
We've got some interesting sources, a mix of historical facts, cultural observations,
Uh-huh.
even a little bit of economics, so we can really understand Black Friday beyond just those doorbuster deals.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah. And get this, the term Black Friday has some pretty dark origins. And I'm not talking about running out of coffee in the morning.
Okay.
We'll explore how even the police played a role in shaping the name and how retailers then tried to give Black Friday a whole new image.
Okay.
And then on top of that, Black Friday isn't just an American thing anymore. It's gone global.
Wow.
So get ready to uncover the hidden history and the surprising evolution of Black Friday.
You know, it's fascinating how Black Friday transformed from a term tied to financial disaster and city chaos into this massive shopping event that practically marks the beginning of the holiday season.
That's like a total marketing makeover,
Yeah.
right? But with some pretty dark beginnings. We're talking way back to 1869.
Yeah, that's right. Our sources point to the crash of the U.S. gold market on September 24th, 1869. It was a really tough day in financial history, and that's where the term Black Friday first appeared.
Wow, can you imagine trying to explain that Black Friday to someone waiting in line all night for a discounted TV? It really shows how much the meaning of words can change over time. But things get even more interesting when we jump ahead to the 1950s in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's when the police enter the story. The Philadelphia police started using Black Friday to describe the day after Thanksgiving. You know, hordes of shoppers and tourists flooding the city, causing massive traffic jams, and unfortunately, a surge in shoplifting.
Wow, I can practically see the crowds pushing and shoving for those early bird specials. Talk about a headache for the police. It's a far cry from that gold market crash. But I see how Black Friday got a negative meaning in this context too. So how did we go from that kind of Black Friday to the one we know today? Now it's like a holiday for some shoppers.
Well, that's where some clever marketing comes in. Retailers weren't too happy about the negative image. They wanted their biggest sales day to be exciting, not associated with crime and chaos.
I bet. Who wants their big sales day linked to police problems?
Exactly. So they began promoting a different story, focusing on the idea of retailers going from in the red, which means losing money, to in the black, which means making a profit. It was a really smart way to change the focus.
It's like they took a sour lemon and made lemonade.
Hmm.
Only the lemon was a day of total chaos. And the funny thing is, it actually worked. I bet most people have no clue about those early Black Fridays.
It really shows how powerful marketing can be and how easily our perception of things can be shaped by the stories we're told.
So by the 1980s, Black Friday is a national shopping event. But our sources point out that it didn't stop there, did it? It went international.
That's right. In the 21st century, Black Friday crossed borders. Canada, the UK, Australia, they all started joining in. And the rise of online shopping really helped it spread even further.
So Black Friday evolved right along with how we shop. That's interesting. Did you know that in Mexico they have a similar event called El Buen Fin?
Yes, it means the good weekend. So we see it's not just about the deals anymore. It's become a cultural phenomenon, almost a global tradition. But I have to ask, what about Black Friday now? Is it still that same crazy rush for deals?
Well, it has definitely changed. Now we see Black November, where sales start weeks before Thanksgiving. And online shopping has changed everything. In 2023, people in the U.S. spent over $9 billion online on Black Friday. It's mind-blowing.
It is incredible how much it's evolved. So the next time you see all those Black Friday ads, you'll know that there's a whole lot more to it than just the deals.
It's a whole story, a journey through time, from financial panic to a worldwide shopping event. We've got a lot more to uncover about how Black Friday has changed and what it means today. So stick with us.
You know, one of our sources goes deeper into those early days of Black Friday in Philadelphia. Apparently, the Army-Navy football game, which is a huge event there every year, actually made the chaos even worse.
Oh, wow. So you've got shoppers, tourists, any football fans all packed into Philadelphia the day after Thanksgiving.
Exactly. It's no wonder the police called it Black Friday. It must have felt like the city was completely overwhelmed.
I can see why they needed a new name for that day. But you mentioned earlier that retailers wanted to rebrand the day, right? Did they try to connect it with the football game somehow?
That's an interesting thought, but it seems like they were really focused on getting away from that negative image and creating a more positive connection with sales and profit.
So, Big Friday didn't really catch on, but the idea of in the black really took hold. It's amazing how a simple change of words can completely change how people see something.
It really shows you the power of language and how our understanding of things is influenced by the way they're presented to us.
And that change in how people saw Black Friday is what helped it spread all over the world. It's kind of mind-blowing to think that a day that used to be a headache for the police in Philadelphia is now a global shopping event.
It just goes to show that things are always changing. Traditions evolve, meanings change, and something that was once local can become a global phenomenon.
Speaking of global, our sources mention that the rise of online shopping, especially during the pandemic, really sped up how Black Friday has changed.
Absolutely. In 2020, online sales for Black Friday in the U.S. alone hit $9 billion. That's a huge jump, and it just shows how Black Friday adapted to the way people were shopping.
It makes you wonder what's next for Black Friday. Will it become even more digital? Will the deals last the whole year? It's exciting to think about.
It really is. But as Black Friday keeps evolving, I think it's important to remember where it came from, to acknowledge those dark origins and the clever marketing that shaped it into what it is today.
And maybe, just maybe, to think about the environmental impact of all that shopping. Some of our sources do bring up concerns about sustainability.
That's a crucial point. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement of all the deals and discounts and forget about the bigger picture.
So it seems like Black Friday is a day full of contradictions, dark origins, brilliant marketing, global reach, and even environmental worries.
It reflects our own complex relationship with shopping and consumerism.
It really makes you think. But hey, we're not here to spoil anyone's Black Friday fun. We just want to give you some things to think about, along with all those great deals.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, and understanding the history of something like Black Friday can help us all make more informed choices as shoppers.
So what are some of the more surprising or little-known facts that our sources revealed about Black Friday? I'm ready for some aha moments.
Well, let's go back to that Philadelphia story. Our sources mention a pretty funny detail.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Apparently, the retailers and city officials were so desperate to change the bad image of Black Friday that they actually tried to give it a whole new name.
Wait, really? They tried something other than Big Friday?
Yes. Believe it or not, they thought about calling it Golden Friday.
Golden Friday? Seriously? That's a huge change from Black.
I know, right? It seems like they were going for a more positive and celebratory feel. But luckily for history buffs, Golden Friday never really caught on.
Black Friday does have a better ring to it, doesn't it? It's funny to think how close we came to having a Golden Friday instead.
It's a fun little fact that shows how far people were willing to go to rebrand the day.
And it also shows that not every marketing campaign is a hit. But in the end, they found success with that in the Black idea.
Exactly. It shows how important it is to find the right message that connects with people.
Speaking of messages, what are some of the main takeaways that our sources give about Black Friday today? What should our listeners keep in mind as they navigate all the sales and deals?
One thing that stands out is the emphasis on stretching out the shopping period. We talked about Black November, where sales can start weeks before Thanksgiving.
So it's not just a one-day frenzy anymore. It's like a shopping marathon.
That's a good way to put it. And that has implications for both retailers and shoppers. For retailers, it's about getting those early shoppers and spreading out the demand.
And for shoppers, it's about pacing themselves and not feeling like they have to buy everything on one day.
Right. It's about being a more thoughtful shopper.
Our sources also point out how dominant online shopping has become, especially after the pandemic. It feels like Black Friday is almost the same thing as online deals now.
Absolutely. And that led to the creation of Cyber Monday, a day specifically for online shopping deals.
So now we have Black Friday, Black November, Cyber Monday. It's like the entire holiday season has become one big shopping extravaganza.
In a way it has, but it's important to remember that Black Friday, even with all its changes, still has that history behind it.
The traffic jams, the shoplifting, the frenzy to get the best deals. It's all part of the story.
And as shoppers, it's up to us to decide how we want to take part in it. Do we want to get caught up in the craziness? Or do we want to approach it with more awareness and thoughtfulness?
That's a great question to think about as we enter Black Friday season. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, there's one more aspect our sources touch on that I find really interesting.
I'm curious, what is it?
It's the global spread of Black Friday. We've talked about how it's become a worldwide phenomenon, but I'd love to learn more about how different countries have adopted and adapted this tradition.
That's a great point. Our sources offer some fascinating examples. We already mentioned Mexico's El Buen Fin, which means the good weekend.
It's interesting that they chose to focus on the positive side of the event.
Yes. It suggests a more relaxed and enjoyable shopping experience. But beyond the name, the concept is similar: big discounts and promotions on a wide range of products.
So like Black Friday has become a universal language for shop till you drop. But I'm curious, are there any countries where Black Friday has taken on a unique or unexpected twist?
Well, one example that comes to mind is France. While Black Friday has definitely gained popularity there, it's also faced some resistance.
Oh, really? Why is that?
It seems there are concerns about the environmental impact of excessive consumption and the potential for Black Friday to hurt local businesses.
That makes sense. We often focus on the economic benefits of Black Friday, but it's important to consider the potential downsides too.
Absolutely. And in France, this has led to discussions about promoting more sustainable shopping practices and supporting small businesses during the Black Friday period.
So it's not just about blindly following a trend, it's about adapting it to fit local values and priorities.
Exactly. And that's what makes the global spread of Black Friday so fascinating. It's not a one-size-fits-all phenomenon, it's a cultural exchange, a blending of traditions, and a chance for each country to put its own spin on the event.
It reminds us that even in our increasingly globalized world, cultural nuances and local perspectives still matter.
And they enrich the Black Friday experience, making it more than just a shopping spree.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, it's clear that Black Friday is much more than just a day for deals. It's a complex and evolving phenomenon with a rich history, a global reach, and a lot to think about.
It's a story of financial crises, traffic chaos, marketing genius, and the ever-changing landscape of consumerism.
And as we head into the heart of Black Friday season, we encourage you, our listeners, to approach this event with a newfound awareness and a sense of curiosity.
To think about the history, the impact, and the choices we make as consumers.
Because at the end of the day, Black Friday is what we make it. But we have even more to uncover about Black Friday's impact and evolution. Stick with us. You know, it's amazing how something that started as like a term for financial panic is now so deeply ingrained in our culture.
It is remarkable, isn't it? It seems like Black Friday has almost become a holiday in its own right.
Yeah, people plan their shopping lists weeks in advance, strategize about getting the best deals. They even camp out in front of stores. It's really become an event.
It's a testament to how traditions can transform and take on new meanings over time. But as we've discussed, this transformation hasn't been without its controversies.
Right. We can't forget about the issues of overconsumption.
Right.
The impact on the environment and the pressure it puts on retail workers. Our sources definitely highlight those concerns.
It serves as a reminder that even events centered around deals and discounts have wider implications for society.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Black Friday, what are some final thoughts you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think the most important takeaway is this: knowledge is power. By understanding the history, the evolution, and the many facets of Black Friday, we can make more informed decisions as consumers.
We can decide how we want to participate, if at all, and we can be more mindful of the impact our shopping habits have on the environment and on society as a whole.
Exactly. Black Friday can be a fun and exciting event, but it's essential to approach it with awareness and a critical eye.
And maybe, just maybe, to remember that the true spirit of the holiday season goes beyond material possessions and bargain hunting.
Well said. It's about connecting with loved ones, showing gratitude, and spreading joy.
So to all our listeners out there, happy shopping. Be kind to retail workers, and most importantly, have a meaningful and fulfilling holiday season. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Black Friday. We'll see you next time.